Namo Doi Savayantanam, Namo Doi Savayantanam, Namo Doi Savayiriyam, Namo Doi Savajayam, Namo Doi Savatrikavati Savanam, Omkaramindu Sanyuktam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Chayumkaraya Namo, Manganam Bhagavanayo, Manganam Gautamurti, Manganam Kunkundari Ujendra Mursu, Manganam Namasanaristara. Swanubhutya Chakasti Chit Swadhay Bhavaya Tattva Vibhava Niyutanidata.
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Vajjanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Nama Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnana Timirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmritam Yena Tasme Sri Guruhe Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Tirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangaryotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvaniyapya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamel Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kahon Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Hum Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamaya Khare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matranati Hare Jamanetrate Majgnana Natikara Nati Vedakare Jane Jakarmodaya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Sri Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jirendra. Today is March 23, 2016, and we'll be continuing our discussion on Samaysar Stanza 7. We finished the Tika part. Now we are going to go to Bhavarth and we'll see how it goes. So we'll just go to slides right now. Okay, so this is the Bhavarth that starts, and so as we said, Tika is the one that Amrit Chandra Acharya wrote down, and Bhavarth is the one that Jaichand Chabda ji, Pandit Jaichand Chabda ji wrote down, that one. So that gives basically same thing what Acharya Amrit Chandra Acharya said, but he sometimes uses little different angle to make it easier for us to understand. So here we are. What it says that mode can be in pure or impure state by its own nature. That we have gone in great detail in stanza 6. Soul substance, infinite attributes, and each attribute is transforming each moment, each samay. And so that modification, that mode, that paryay could be pure or impure state, and that is by its own nature. Own nature means swabhav. So paryay is swabhav. Paryay decides by its own way what it wants to be in a pure state or impure state. It's independently paryay decides that one. Soul substance has no control over it, because soul is a non-doer. Soul as a substance. Soul as a substance is a non-doer. It's an inert. Attributes, non-doer. They are inert. Only the changes perceived, they are in the modifications. And this modification could be in the pure state or impure state. That modification has its own nature. So, so over here, the alien object simply acts as instrumental cause when mode becomes impure. Here is my mode right now. I am the creator of my own mode. I means the soul. Means I am the creator, not you, not any material object. Me as a grand total soul substance is responsible for that. When we come within the grand total of the soul substance, then there are divisions are there. Soul is a substance, attributes, and mode. So out of all those three, who is the real culprit? And real culprit is that mode. So when the action occurs in the mode, because mode is a part of the soul substance, so we can either we can say either mode did the transformation or soul substance having mode showed the transformation. For example, this is Ankit's house, this is Preeti's house, this is Ketan's house, this is my house. When we enter that house, then there are different rooms are there, bedrooms are there, study room is there, kitchen is there, den is there, mandir is there, different rooms are there. So now everybody does their own function. Kitchen does the function of cooking, and bedroom does the function of making somebody rest and everything, and mandir does the function of having somebody to pray. So in that whole household, different entity have different work assigned. Similarly, from outside, when I look at it, soul is doing the action. Soul is doing this one. Soul is becoming angry. Soul is becoming greedy. Soul is becoming egoistic. And all those things are seen and labeled as a soul is doing. But when I enter the soul and say, wait a second, who is the real culprit in the soul? Then soul substance says, hey, you know what? I'm the inert. I don't do anything. Attribute, they say, I'm inert. I don't do anything. So mode says, yes, action occurs within me. I am responsible for it. So modification, mode, Paryay did all the work. And when Paryay did that work, alien object is simply sitting as an instrumental cause. Instrumental cause definition we have gone from before. We'll repeat again. Instrumental cause is a one when act is getting done in a principal cause. Over here, the soul substance, in a soul's modification. When the action is going on in the principal cause, like the soul's mode, then associated favorable situation and or persons or any material thing, they are known as instrumental cause. Right now, in my room, there is a light going on, and there is also sunlight over here. So this light is not doing anything. I mean, it's not doing the way it is supposed to do the work. When the sun sets, then this light will be the instrumental cause for me to work. So instrumental cause is simply merely present when an act is getting done in a principal things. નિમિત્ત પર નિમિત્તનો આરોપ ત્યારે જ આવે જ્યારે ઉપાદાનથી ઉપાદાનમાં કાર્ય થાય ત્યારે. Let's take one example. What is the best nimit? What's the best nimit for me? To have omniscient Lord is a best nimit. Now, if omniscient Lord is a best nimit for me, did I go to omniscient Lord's Samaysar anytime? Yes, I have gone infinite times. How many times? Infinite times. I have gone to omniscient Lord Samaysar, and omniscient Lord is the one of the best super perfect nimit that is available to me. Then why did I not get Samyak Darshan? Infinite times when I went there, I did not get Samyak Darshan. What's the reason? Because that nimit get accusation to be a nimit only when act is getting done in me. When I get Samyak Darshan, then that omniscient Lord will be called nimit. Gautam Swami, he was a Brahmin. He has an arrogancy of his own, that I am the greatest of the great and nobody knows anything more than me. And then he decided to perform some great puja, big puja. And at that time, he sees that there are so many planes from the sky are descending, and instead of coming to his worship place, they took a turn around. Then he says, what happened? Where did they go? Well, there is somebody called Mahavir, so they went to Mahavir's Samaysar. So Gautam Swami, having his ego and arrogance, he says, there can't be anybody better than me. So he comes to Bhagwan Samaysar to argue, to make sure that, to prove his supremacy. He comes, he looks at Bhagwan, right away, he obtains Samyak Darshan. Remember, he came with arrogancy. Of course, he had a lots of knowledge base and everything, but he had a problem with the arrogancy, with toxic emotions. But he was the eligible person. Because he was having a great eligibility, as soon as he saw Bhagwan, in front of Bhagwan, he ended up getting Samyak Darshan. Samyak Darshan occurred to Gautam Swami just by entering Samaysar, because he was a worthy soul. How many times us went to Bhagwan Samaysar? Infinite times. So here Gautam Swami enters, and maybe we also entered together. Gautam Swami ends up getting Samyak Darshan, and we just came back alone. Just like that. Why? Because we did not have our own eligibility. So nimit can only be called nimit when action is getting done in upadan. Instrumental cause can only be called instrumental cause when the real action occurs in the principal cause. So that's why for Gautam Swami,
Kirit uncle?
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Upadan is?
Principal cause.
Principal cause, thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Action is occurring in Gautam Swami's soul.
Okay.
When action is occurring, then Mahavir Swami in the form of omniscient Lord became nimit for him.
Okay.
We were sitting there, when Mahavir Swami or some other Bhagwan Samaysar, Bhagwan did not become nimit for us because we did not have our own eligibility.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
This is for eligibility that we have to know. So what happens? When object, when the mode becomes impure by itself, mode by itself becomes principal cause and becomes impure. At that time, alien objects are simply present as an instrumental cause. So alien object didn't do anything to the principal cause. Now, modal impurity should not be considered as eternal soul substance's impurity. Now, Remember, now we have entered the soul substance. From outside, I just said soul become angry, soul become greedy, soul become egoistic, soul has ego and everything. Soul has an inclination of attachment and aversion. All these things I label to the soul. But now when I enter into the soul's territory and I try to analyze that where are these impurities occurring, then soul substance says, hey, you know what? I'm pure forever. Attribute says I'm pure forever. And mode says, you know what? I'm the culprit. I became impure. So soul substance does not get impurity just because mode, paryay end up getting impurity. Even by consideration of the divisional aspect of the attribute creates rag. Now this impurity what we are talking about, this modal impurity we are talking about, that Acharya Bhagwan says, I'm taking you to the most minutest point into the soul's environment. In the soul's environment, if I consider the divisional aspect of the attributes, that this is knowledge attribute, this is faith attribute, this is conduct attribute, this is eternal existence attribute, this is all kind of different attributes are there. If I consider them in divisional aspect, that means there is modal impurity in the form of rag. Means there is an inclination of attachment is generated, means that mode has become impure. Remember, we are thinking about, right now, we are thinking about the soul and its all important attributes and everything, and we concentrate on that. We are not worried about the worldly object at all. I don't know what's happening around. Simply, I have closed my eyes, went into meditative posture, and went into thinking that I have this knowledge attribute, I have the conduct attribute, I have faith attribute. Like these divisions when I'm making in my reflective thoughts, that is also called inclination of attachment. So Acharya Bhagwan has in this stanza given extreme microscopic definition where inclination of attachment is getting generated. There is a sage, and sage is just in a meditative posture, and that's all he's thinking about. His soul has a knowledge attribute, conduct attribute, faith attribute. This divisional aspect of thinking process also is generating inclination of attachment, means it is generating impurity. So this is my pen. If I think that way, this is definitely is separate thing from me. So that is creating impurity within me. Yes, I can understand that. This is my body and I love my body. No, I don't like it when my sugar goes up and everything. That is also inclination of attachment. When I, all this thing, but when I'm thinking nothing but the soul's attribute, that is also called rag. So Acharya Bhagwan says, you are going to get stuck there if you don't get out of this one, or if you don't understand these principles. Other day somebody was telling me that, well, you know, such and such person has a Samyak Darshan. Could be there, I don't know. I'm not there to dispute those facts and everything. If somebody has it, well and good. But one has to understand what is Samyak Darshan, what's a real thing in Samyak Darshan, what is the basis of Samyak Darshan. Just to think that even my attributes are in divisional aspect, one has a rag, one cannot get Samyak Darshan. So we have to have that kind of understanding. One should avoid all these pitfalls all these pitfalls that where I'm going to fall down, and concentrate only on the eternal true nature of the indivisible nature of the soul. Nayak, Nayak, Nayak means I'm just thinking that my eternal soul substance is only the one I'm concentrating on it. Everything else becomes secondary. They may be present. They are present. I just make them secondary. How do you make secondary and primary? If I'm going to job from, let's say, Long Island to Manhattan, and I'm driving, what is my aim right now? My aim is to reach my job at particular time. I see all the hundreds and thousands of cars on the road. I see lots of trees and people and all, but I don't register them. My aim is only how far I am from my office. And so that's my primary object at the time. Everything else is secondary. Let's say that one decides that he wants to buy a new car. Now he's on the road. What is he going to do? He's going to check all the car. Well, this is Hyundai. No, that's too cheap. I don't want to have it. Toyota, yeah, it's okay, Well, Mercedes, I like to have it. Well, Tesla, I really would like to have it. So now you start looking at those cars and start analyzing, because now you are giving importance to those things. Yesterday, you did not have importance. You were just simply going to job. And so your aim was to reach the job. Here, infinite attributes are there. Modes are there. Alien objects are there. Everything is there. My aim has to be eternal, true nature of the self with indivisible nature of the soul. That should be my aim all the time. So everything is there, but I make them secondary. So subject matter of right faith, Samyak Darshan, is eternal true nature of the soul. Am I able to concentrate there? Well, since time infinite, I've been involved with the alien objects of the universe, and so it takes time for me to detach from those alien objects of the universe and try to concentrate on my eternal soul substance. Alien objects of the universe, forget about everything else. This body is also alien object. And so my relationship to the body is there since time infinite, and I need to take the attention away from that body and try to concentrate on my eternal soul substance. So activity in the mode now directs faith to the eternal true nature of the indivisible soul substance away from the alien object. Remember, we said faith can be two types only, either to the alien objects or either to my eternal soul substance. Two things only. So my faith should be taken away from alien objects of the world, means from my body, from my modifications, my divisional aspect of the attributes, and only the thing are to bring the faith to my eternal soul substance. So that is the essence of this stanza over here. Now, what does ignorant soul ends up doing? Ignorant soul, he knows the soul substance as follows. How does he know? He knows that knowledge is a soul, faith is a soul, conduct is a soul. Remember, this is the ignorant soul we are talking about. He's not saying that, money is good for me, my fame is good for me, my degree is good for me, no. He says, my soul has faith attribute, knowledge attribute, conduct, and that is a soul. That kind of thing he's thinking. So he's an advanced type of soul who is now on the path to obtain Samyak Darshan, but still he's stuck on this in this thing in which he believes that divisional aspect of attribute is a soul. He erroneously considers the nature of the soul with divisional aspect of the attributes. And it does not consider soul substance with indivisibility with its infinite attribute. Acharya Bhagwan, this type of soul, he calls them as an ignorant soul. Wait a second. I did so much tapasya, I did so much penance, I did so much of the donation and charity and chastity and all the things. We don't worry about that part. Do you believe that this is the things? If you believe, that means you are ignorant soul. That's what Acharya Bhagwan tells us. He's very strict. His measurements is very strict. And for me to rise to that measurement, I have to be really, really, really aggressive to understand what's the true nature of the self. Now, fact that the eternal soul substance has indivisibility with its own attributes, okay, that's a fact. This indivisibility is difficult to explain as there is limitation of the spoken words. And therefore, learned Guru explains the indivisibility of the attributes and the soul in the form of divisions. Because I had never experienced indivisibility, so I don't know what that feels like, what it is and everything. So Acharya Bhagwan tells us that, okay, do you know the soul has an infinite attribute? Yes. Do you know soul has a knowledge attribute? Yes. Conduct attribute? Yes. Faith attribute? Yes. So we are talking about that soul, but having indivisibility of this attribute. So the medium of explanation is division. This is the knowledge. This is the right knowledge. This is wrong knowledge. This is right faith. This is wrong faith. This right conduct, wrong conduct. All this divisional aspect are explained to me, but then at the end he says to us, the true Guru tells me, you experience them in indivisible way. Now, soul with and without toxic emotions. Soul with and without toxic emotions. Toxic emotions means kashai. So, what happens? Soul with the toxic emotion and without toxic emotion. With toxic emotions means transmigratory soul with toxic emotions. That means kashai. That means 1 to 10th gunsthanak, spiritual development stages. Excuse me. So, I had the toxic emotions. The enlightened soul at the 4th gunsthanak has a toxic emotions. Monk at 6th and 7th gunsthanak has a toxic emotions. Up to 10th gunsthanak, up to 10th spiritual development stage, there are presence of toxic emotions in different intensity, reducing intensity, but they are present. Then, without toxic emotion means passionless state of omniscient lords and liberated souls, that is 13 and 14 spiritual development stage and beyond. So what happens? At 13th spiritual development stage, omniscient Lord has absence of toxic emotions. At 14th spiritual development stage, there are no emotions present at all. It's a passionless state. And thereafter, soul is a siddha. After 14th stage, soul becomes siddha. And so he also has no passions at all. He has no toxic emotions. Now, you're going to ask me a question that we talked from 1 to 10 and 13 to 14. What happened 11 and 12 number? What happened to 11 and 12 spiritual development stages over here? Right? Yes, okay. At the end of 10th spiritual development stage, all the toxic emotions, ultimately, they get washed out. And then at the end of 10th spiritual development stage, soul enters into 12th stage. From 10th, it goes to 12th. And he remains there for Antarmurat, intra-Indian hour, means less than 48 hours, means extremely small time. And then he ends up going to 13th Gunsthanak. So 12th one, from the end of 10th, he goes to 12th, which lasts for a very short time, and right away he's on 13 and 14 spiritual development stage. Still, we did not talk about 11th. What is 11th? 11th is a stage which is called Upsant Mo. Means there is the toxic emotions are being suppressed, and that's the highest soul can go up to 11th in that state. And then ultimately those emotions will start coming out, and soul will start falling from 11 to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4, maybe it can go up to 1 also. So 11th is a stage in which you come up with a suppression of the emotions. At 12th, from 10th, when you go to 12th directly, that means you have washed away all the emotions completely. And so you go to 13 and 14. So, and we are going to go next series of slides are coming in which it will explain all these toxic emotions in detail. Therefore, he means the 13th and 14th spiritual development stage and Siddha Bhagwan, they all are having absence of any inclination of attachment state at all, means they have no toxic emotions, that means they have passionless state. This guy, this omniscient Lord and Siddha Bhagwan knows the divisional aspect as well as indivisible aspect of attributes present in the eternal soul substance. Because there is absence of all the attachment and aversion. There is absence of all the kashai. There is absence of all the toxic emotions. Now this omniscient Lord and Siddha Bhagwan, they know the indivisibility of the attribute and divisional aspect of attribute also, and they don't get any toxic emotion because they are without toxic emotion. They are passionless. They enter the passionless state. So they know it, but they don't have any attachment because they are beyond that attachment phase. And again, those slides are coming, so hang on there, okay? By knowing this way, by knowing the indivisible and divisional aspect of the attribute by omniscient Lord and Siddha Bhagwan, he does not have any inclination of attachment or rag, because his conduct attribute is shining perfectly, because he's on passionless state, because he has removed all his rag and dvesh, because he has removed all his toxic emotions. So that's why he has no inclination of attachment and aversion. In the rest of the souls, now 1 to 10 spiritual development stage, those souls, they have reflective thoughts and their attention is focused on the divisional aspects. These reflective thoughts are the reason for the transmigration for these souls. My inclination of attachment present within me when I'm having a reflective thought in the form of divisional aspect of the attribute, then I get inclination of attachment. That means I get toxic emotion. That means I keep on wandering in the transmigration. Now, up to the 10th spiritual development stage, there is presence of inclination of attachment according to the state the soul is in. To explain, to make sure that we understand this point very well, we are going to have a series of slides in the next 3 or 4 or 5 slides. Literature says, Sansari जीव ने भूमिका अनुसार नो राग होय छे. transmigratory soul has increase of attachment present according to the state he is in. What does that mean? Now, what state I am in? Am I in a really low state, or in the enlightenment state, or I'm in a monk state? What am I? Then Acharya Bhagavan has said that one cannot understand the nature of the soul or the state the soul is in, but there is a barometer in the form of karma. Karma becomes barometer, and then it tells us what state we are in. For example, if you look outside my window, it's a bright sun is there. I'm sitting inside. I don't know what's the weather look outside, except that sun is there. It could be 108 degree, or it could be 72 degree. How will I know? From the thermometer that I have it. I'm sitting inside. I'm not outside right now. I'm only sitting inside. And only the way to know outside temperature is thermometer. And it will just say, yes, it's a 72 degree. No, it's 108 degree or whatever. In the first year I was in New York in 73. I was in Brooklyn with my friend's place. And it was January, and it was a bright sunlight that is filtering through the window. It appeared to be a beautiful day. Not knowing anything, fresh from the boat, I just came out with my slippers. And I almost had a frostbite. Because I thought there is a beautiful day because sun is shining, but never knew that it's about a 20 degree temperature there. So, to see the internal state of the soul, I have barometer in the form of karma that they tell me what state I am in. So let's see what is that barometer looks like. Karma's barometer. Now hang on tight little bit because we'll go a little slowly if you want, but one has to understand next series of slides to understand what karma barometer telling me the state of the internal state of the soul. So, deleting karma is one of the most important karma out of all the karmas that I have it. Kripaludev has nicely said, karma ananta prakarana ema mukhe aat ema mukhe mone hanai te kaupat. What did he say? That deleting karma is a king of all the karmas. And if you remove deleting karma, rest of the karma, they disappear just like that. Remember in what was that Bahubali movie? That Bahubali side, they were very small in number with the army wise. And the other guy on the other side has huge army. And what did those people decided from Bahubali side? They said, we don't have to worry about how big their army is. Important thing is, we have to kill the king. And they made the plan how to kill the king. And so they go and attack the king. Once the king gets killed, everybody runs away. If this deleting karma, they are the king. If I can take this deleting karma out completely, rest of the karma structure, they fall down automatically. So now, what is the deleting karma? Deleting karma, there are 28 subtypes are there. We'll be going through it, and believe me, you will have to know this part. Sooner or later. It's okay, right now you can understand. But once you understand, you have to kind of imbibe in you, and you have to make sure that you understand this one really, really great. If you understand this deluding karma, you understand lots and lots of things. Because Jainism, everything depends on karma. Everything is related to karma and everything. So I have to understand what this karma means. So deluding karma, there are two types. First type is a right belief deluding karma. There are three types. This deluding karma has one division, one arm is called right belief deluding karma. The three types, they are called wrong belief deluding karma, right belief deluding karma, and clouded right belief deluding karma. We are not going to go too much detail in each one right now. Wrong belief deluding karma, right belief deluding karma, clouded right belief deluding karma. When I have this guy present within me, that means I don't have Samyak Darshan. That means this is the reason that I'm in Mithyatva. This is the reason I'm in wrong belief. This is the reason I'm in the wrong concept state. This is the reason I'm in a first Gunsthanak. Because I have presence of right belief deluding karma. That's the first step. The three types. Then, this is a right conduct deluding karma. There are 25 types. Don't get scared. We'll make it very easy. So just hang on tight. So right conduct deluding karma, there are 25 types. Subtypes are passions, are 16 types of passions. Those are infinite bondage producing passions, partial vow preventing passions, total vow preventing passions, perfect conduct preventing passions, and they all are 4 subtypes which we are coming as soon as we are done with this part. So passions are 16, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. Then quasi-passions. They're kind of milder types of passions. And there are 9 types. Laughter, etc., there are 6 types. And sex inclination are 3 types. So, these 16 are 4 over here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. 4 are infinite bondage producing, 4 are partial vow preventing, 4 are total vow preventing, 4 are perfect conduct preventing. So 4 times 4 is 16. Quasi-passions, 9 are laughter, etc. and 3 are sex inclination. Now, when we say this 4 over here, what are those 4? Anger, deceit, ego, greed of infinite bondage producing passion. Anger, deceit, ego, greed of infinite bondage producing passions, which is conduct deluding, which is part of the deluding karma. Another one, partial vow preventing passions of anger, deceit, ego, and greed. They are the another 4 passions. Total vow preventing passions of anger, deceit, ego, greed, and perfect conduct preventing anger, deceit, ego, and greed. So 4 times 4 are 16 types of passion. This is called kashai. This is called no kashai. Kashai, anantanubandhi kashai. Anantanubandhi, krodh, man, maya, lobh. Partial vow preventing apratyakhani varan, krodh, man, maya, lobh. Total vow preventing pratyakhyana varan, krodh, man, maya, lobh. Perfect conduct preventing sanjvalan, krodh, man, maya, lobh. So these are 16 types of passions are there, 16 types of toxic emotions are there, 16 types of kashais are there, and 9 are no kashai. What are those no kashai? Laughter, etc. What does laughter, etc. means? It means there are laughter has 6 types. There are laughter, indulgence, dissatisfaction, sorrow, fear, and disgust. Hashya, Rati, Arati, Bhai, Jugupsa, Shok. So these are the 6 types of quasi-passions. No Kashai. And sex inclinations are 3 types, and they are male sex inclination, female sex inclination, hermaphrodite sex inclination. So here we have total 28 subtypes. Deluding karma, right belief deluding karma are 3 types. Right conduct deluding are 16 types of passions, 9 types of quasi-passions, and total becomes 28 subtypes of deluding karma. Out of this whole scenario that we are seeing over here, as we say, out of all the karma, one, if removes deluding karma, one has made it. In the deluding karma also, one, when he comes out and he removes this guy, right belief deluding karma, this guy, when he removes that, that means Samyak Darshan comes. The rest of the things, they start falling down very quickly thereafter. So again, quickly, deluding karma, 3 types right belief deluding karma, 25 types of right conduct deluding karma, which are 16 passions, 9 quasi-passions, 16 passion, we divide into 4 in this way: infinite bondage, partial vow, total vow, perfect conduct, preventing passions. And quasi-passions are very weaker types of all these things. So now, if we understand this hierarchy, then I can understand, then we can understand spiritual development stages. Then we can understand Gunsthanak. How does Gunsthanak work? Let's talk the next one now. See, these are the same thing that we have 28 subtypes and everything. Deluding karma, 3 are over here, and 16 over here, 9 over here, 28 types are there. If I have all those things...
Can I ask a question, Kirit, uncle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you take a little bit more time to explain the differences between infinite bondage producing, partial vow preventing, total vow? Can you explain the difference between those 4 for me?
Yes, please. Okay. Yes, it's a good question. Infinite bondage producing passions means it is called Anantanubandhi karma. Anantanubandhi krodh man maya lobh means infinite. It means when I have these passions present within me, that means I am bonding infinite karma coming to me, and they will remain with me for infinite time also. I am in a Mithyatva Gunsthanak. I am in the first Gunsthanak. In the first Gunsthanak, I have this infinite bondage producing anger, deceit, ego, greed are present within me. And so that's why I'm binding those karma which are going to stay with me for long time, and they'll be intense form. Now, here, this person in this state, having, you can see that person is very calm and cool and collective, and you never saw him becoming angry. And now deluding karma says, well, they having infinite bondage producing karma. He has anger which is present in him, and he's binding infinite karma when he's angry. But I never see him becoming angry. Well, I can have anger, deceit, ego, and greed. All 4 types of karma, 4 types of state could be present within me. Now, sometimes anger is predominant, other time is deceit is predominant, third time is ego is predominant, fourth term is greed is predominant. So, if you just say, this person, I have never seen him becoming angry. The other guy says, oh yeah, I'm very cool and collective guy. Unless somebody just pushes me, then I become angry. Wait a second. Then you are angry. You have nature of becoming angry. So this anger, deceit, ego, greed could be present in various combinations. For example, let's say that I never become angry. Don't tell my wife. She will say other way around. Anyway, I don't become angry. But then I may have greed within me. I'm an extremely greedy person. Or I have tremendous ego hiding within me. From outside, I look cool, collective, and everything. For example, on the election night, coming November, when the election results are coming out, and one of the, out of two candidates, one is going to lose. And TV is going to show us that, well, such and such person congratulated other person who was elected president now. And they will show that they're smiling, and that the loser guy will just say, congratulations to such and such, and I wish you success and everything. What is he thinking in his mind? He's full of anger. He's just wearing the face mask to show that, you know, he is kind of accepting whatever it is. He's not going to accept that one. So he has anger sitting within him. So this anger could be seen, perceived, or it could be any combination of this thing could be present. So if I'm not angry, it doesn't mean I have samyak darshan. I don't have anger means infinite bonded producing anger may not be there, but other forms could be there. Now, when we progress further in a gunasthana, next slides will be coming and everything, but we are just trying to jump something right now. That if I remove this guy completely right now from me, let's see, hold it. Let me bring the pen here. If I remove this guy from me right now, for example, that means I have samyak darshan right now. That means I still have partial vow preventing anger, deceit, ego, greed, total vow preventing anger, deceit, ego, greed, perfect conduct preventing anger, deceit, ego, greed, and laughter and second inclination. All these things are present within me. But the intense bondage producing passions are gone. So whatever partial vow preventing passions present within me, they are extremely milder in nature. In the scripture, if we go to Karnana Yoga, in the mathematical form of the scriptures, they just say that infinite bonded producing passions are the one having the fault in a mountain. There's a mountain is there, and there's a fault that we can see. That fault never will be combined together. Those things will remain that fault will remain there forever. Partial vow preventing passions intensity means it is extremely light in nature. That, you know, wood pieces may be coming together sometimes if there is a fault. Total vow preventing passion is even milder than that, in which you draw a line in the sand, and a wind comes and that line gets obliterated. And perfect conduct preventing passion is like drawing the line in a water, in which line is getting drawn in the front and the back, it gets erased out. So that means it's extremely mild. This is milder. This is also milder form. This is the intense form. So intense anger, deceit, ego, greed, when they are gone, that means the soul is having samyak darshan, means he can still becoming angry. We can see that, for example, that somebody has a samyak darshan and he becomes angry. But his anger is extremely milder in nature. He knows that anger is not my state. This one, he says, I had to become angry because somebody is making my life miserable. So I had to become angry. He justifies his anger, deceit, ego, and greed. This guy in Samyak Darshan onwards, he says, I'm becoming anger, deceit, ego, greed, but it's my weakness. I should not do that one. So his attachment is gone from this anger, deceit, ego, greed. And that attachment becomes weaker and absolutely weak over here. And ultimately, when everything is gone, he becomes omniscient Lord. So next series of slides will be telling us all those things. So at least right now, infinite bondage producing passion is present in a first gun sthanak, means in a mithyatva. Do I have mithyatva? Yes, I have it. Do I have samyak darshan? No, I don't have it. So if I have mithyatva, am I having infinite bondage producing passions going on within me every samay, every moment? Yes. You know, there was please believe me, this is not a criticism, but this is kind of to understand the fact that we are talking next sentence. So this is not to make a kind of derogatory comment for somebody else. But one time, one of my friends said, in one of the city, I won't tell you which city, he said that he went to one of the puja, and there was Ananta Bhavana Karma Dahanni Puja. Means, from my in the past, I acquired so many karmas, and now I did puja and I burned those karmas. Is that true? Not necessarily. Why? Okay, let's presume that he burned those karma, but because he is in the mithyatva gunsthana, because in the first gunsthana, every moment he is binding anger, ego, deceit, greed type of infinite bonded producing karma within him all the time. I know this part is not clear, so now I'm going to throw some monkey wrench inside. But now, what does infinite bonded producing anger means? Who am I? I'm the eternal soul substance. My only job is to know and perceive, and that's it, and not to indulge in any alien objects. The reason, the moment I have the interest in the alien object, this body, I have the interest in my body right now. Well, it's evening. I'm hungry. I have to eat. I've shown the interest in my body. That means I showed anger to my eternal soul substance. Did you get it? My true nature is to stay within my own absolute state. Sugar will give sweetness no matter where it is. Salt will give salty taste no matter where it is. This soul will do only job of knowing and perceiving no matter where it is. Instead of doing that, now I take ownership on my body. Well, listen, today was a best weather and I did not go jogging because I have to go to jogging because I can manage my body, I can manage my diabetes. Wait a second. That means I have interest towards my material body. As such, soul and material body are separate, but I took ownership over here. Because I took ownership to the alien object means I came out of my eternal true nature of the self, and because I came out, I showed anger to myself, anger to my eternal soul substance, and that is called infinite bondage producing anger. It's not that I'm just within no matter, within no time I become angry. That is very gross type of thing. We have to see finer type. Where is that anger within me? Because I don't remain within my eternal soul substance. I don't remain engrossed within myself, and I looked into the alien object, and that alien object is my body. And when I'm putting my attention to the body, that means I'm showing anger to my eternal soul substance. I'm deceiving my eternal soul substance. I'm having the ego that I can take care of somebody else, and that's why I can take care of the alien object. That's my ego. And I can manage myself. I can manage my diabetes. I can manage my weight, bodily actions. I'm greedy there. So anger, deceit, ego, greed, we have to see microscopically involving my eternal soul substance. And that's why each and every moment I'm binding infinite bonded producing karma. So that is my mithyatva gunsthanak, wrong faith state. Now we'll go to the next stage, and third and fourth and everything. I think we already passed the time. I was planning to finish lots of things today, but no, we did not. But anyway, important thing is, let's think about this type of thing. What did he say? Infinite bonded producing passions means I'm coming out of my true state and showing my interest to the alien object. Means my body is an alien object. And when I'm showing the interest to that one, that means I have the anger, deceit, ego, and greed of infinite bondage producing passions of right conduct, deluding karma. My deluding karma are the one that thermometer from outside. They tell me what is my internal condition. I can be talking everything. I'm the quietest of the most quiet guy. I never do the deceitful thing. I never show the anger. Those are gross things. Internally, if I have the affinity for my body, that means I have infinite bonded producing passions within me, no matter what, who says what. So I can be doing 1 month upvas, 1 year upvas. I can do 6 months. I can do upvas forever, but that is for the bodily action. It's not. Nothing is happening to my soul. So those are the means. Literature doesn't say that you should not do all those, but when you are doing it, remember you are trying to do. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So when I'm doing the penance and the austerity and everything, literature said we are not saying don't do it, but because I'm doing that, I'm doing good to my soul. That idea needs to be taken out. So this is infinite bondage producing karma. So we'll talk a lot more next time. Any questions so far? It was a little bit heavy today, I understand. And if we have to, we'll go slow and we'll make sure, because this is the root thing. This is a basic thing that we have to understand, okay? Questions? Any questions anywhere? No, then I think we'll do the closing then, right? जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक, सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ दो. 9 times Namo mantra. Jai Jendra. Michai Dukram.
Michami Dukram Kirit uncle. Thank you.